We navigate our world with sight generally. I suppose you could say it's our natural GPS system creating perceptions. Our perceptions are often based on familiarity and past subconscious associations. That is, we will automatically relate our understanding of spaces and environments to what we already know and indeed what we're already familiar with. What we know and what we're familiar with forms our terms of reference, if you like, which for many might well be from our origins and culture. That is where we as humans will naturally begin. Hello again, I'm William from Architect Knowhow. Ever walked into a space, whether it's internal or external, it really doesn't matter, but instantly you feel it was comfortable and cozy, or was it cavernous and hollow? Welcome to the competition of scale and architecture. Let's explore this concept, or notion if you like, within the context of the built environment where its scale and our human perception begin to interact. Two main factors influence our understanding of scale. That is, the scale of the space in relation to the human body and the scale of the architectural elements occupying that space. It's like the difference between standing in a quaint courtyard and then beneath a soaring skyscraper. That difference is vast, and I'm sure you'll agree about that. You know that for yourselves. In architectural discourse, the concept of scale hinges on two pivotal determinants: the spatial dimensions relative to the human form and the proportional relationships of architectural elements within that domain. Essentially, scale assesses the spatial harmony and balance. For instance, when discussing volume, the human body instinctively gauges the intimacy or grandiosity of a space, be it a compact atrium or a vast exhibition hall. At the same time, the scale of intrinsic architectural components like fenestrations, columns or joinery can either accentuate or diminish our sense of spatial magnitude as we see it, or indeed as we read it architecturally. To highlight this particular point and to draw a comparison, it's like contrasting the intricate detail of a pergolas, let's say, with the massive presence of a Brutalist building, which presents itself to the built environment as a blocky, heavy appearance, usually fair-faced concrete as a finished material and lacking any ornamentation. In amongst all the features that we relate to and recognise, it's really the height or the vertical scale that truly captures our attention. Our eyes are natural built-in altitude meters. They instantly recognise a change in altitude from one element to the next and to another, or one building to another. And our eyes see that marriage of space between buildings or any physical component that occupies that space. Our eyes recognise and relate to that. They do it by default. Way before we gather any understanding of how the plan layout works or the dimensions and organisation of the plan layout. Our eyes capture light and focuses it on the retina. Then our brain goes into work and processes these signals to create an image that includes depth, colour, movement and much more besides. This eye-brain communication and coordination is what allows us to appreciate the architectural beauty of our surroundings. The built environment refers to the world we've shaped for ourselves, and as architects we have to recognise the part we play in that, and indeed accept responsibility also for the design decisions we make. After all, it's the stage where we as humans live, work and play. It is constantly around us, from the intimacy of a favourite corner in our own home to the sprawl of industrial or commercial zones where we might work and play, for instance. And indeed we share those environments as well. Each built environment is like an architectural symphony, composed of buildings and structures of different scales and forms, and the materials we as architects use add that unique musical note to this architectural melody. That is what we do. You know, our minds juggle many things at once, and our surroundings play a key role in those activities. Buildings or clusters of structures shape our understanding and appreciation of aesthetics. Buildings, whether standing alone or in groups, play a major role in how we perceive and value beauty in architecture. Their design, the materials used, and how they fit together influence our reactions and feelings towards them. That is particularly pertinent with regards to small and medium-sized domestic projects, where adjoining owners are personally connected to what you may be proposing for your client, who's the building owner. With domestic projects, large or small, I have always found the personal involvement from adjoining owners is inevitable. Sometimes, too, your development project might attract the attention of those ubiquitous, interested third parties, as it were, who are at times located even some distance away from the actual development site, but who decide nonetheless to become interested in for whatever reason, for whatever you're dealing with. For those of you studying or starting out in architecture, it's essential to understand that every design decision, big or small, shapes the overall look and feel of space and how people experience it. For budding architects and those embarking on their architectural career in professional practice, comprehending the weight of design choices is paramount. Each decision, from the overarching design layout to the minutiae of material selection, plays a crucial role in crafting the ambience and functionality of a space. Such choices don't merely affect aesthetics, they influence how occupants navigate and interact with and emotionally connect with the environment. A well-considered design that identifies and recognises the scale of what is happening in and around the development site will succeed in fostering harmony, flow, and purpose, making spaces not just structures, but experiences. All of what I have referred to so far relates to preparing a comprehensive and competent planning submission. Equally important is for you to gather a better understanding of the design decisions you are making and being able to explain your decision making within your design and access statement, which forms part of your planning submission. But that's another topic which I will cover in a separate episode. In this book, I discuss the built environment in terms of building height, scale and massing and much more besides. I highlight how it influences and shapes our design solutions when we are preparing a planning submission. I mention this here because you may be interested. We each react to our environments based on personal perceptions. Whether it's the open wild countryside or the pulsating heart of a city, the thread that links all these diverse environments together is scale. Our feelings and reactions to places are influenced by our individual experiences, our terms of reference, our culture, and how we view these matters. A design can be in scale if it aligns with human norms. Scale, therefore, is often described as large scale or small scale, depending on its deviation from our own sense of what the norm is. This scale also influences how buildings and structures interact with each other. Extremely different scales can result in jarring visual effects. So the solution may not lie in rigid planning strategies which sets fixed standards. It's more in ensuring harmonious architectural design relationships prevail and even encouraged, where a common scale will create a more satisfying visual experience and circumvent that jarring, as I mentioned earlier. That's it for today's exploration into the built environment, scale and human perception. If you found this episode interesting and want to become part of the conversation, hit the like button and stay connected with our channel. Mario will be so pleased about that. Until the next time then, keep your eyes focused and learn to appreciate all the architectural symphonies around you. They are out there.